Are the people you even watch fragrance content from giving you good advice and recommendations? Or are they actually recommending you fragrances that are going to make women want to run away and scream when they smell you? Okay, that's highly unlikely. I'm going to be honest. Highly unlikely, but I'm going to be ranking all of your favorite and most popular fragrance content creators into a tier list from S tier all the way down to D tier. I swear this video isn't trying to start beef with anybody. Believe it or not, I actually don't really watch fragrance content anymore. I make it every single day. That is enough fragrance content for me. I consume other types of content. So these opinions and this ranking is going to primarily stem and be based off little old 16, 17-year-old FBFragrances when he just got into cologne, when he was watching fragrance-related content every single day. And a lot of that content was from these guys I'm going to be ranking in this video. Starting it off with one of the very first kind of fragrance guys that I got into as a young 16-year-old boy, and that is Alex Costa. Man, he's so good looking. If I wasn't straight, I would totally jump all over that. Alex Costa, this guy, in terms of fragrance related content, probably not the best to watch because I would say his niche is more in the men's self-improvement, self-care kind of space. I touch on that subject, especially on my TikTok videos, but I'll consider myself primarily a fragrance influencer. He is definitely not a fragrance influencer in terms of him dominating the self-care, self-improvement niche. He is right up there, A tier or S tier. You know, he does hair care, he does nail care, he does probably sex education. He does a lot of stuff that is really helpful to especially young men. But in terms of his actual fragrance knowledge, advice, how often he creates fragrance content, for me, he's going to slot right into the C tier. Most of his fragrance-related videos are kind of him just showcasing his ginormous collection, which are really, really entertaining. The editing's on point, presentation, the way he speaks is so good, but the actual kind of quality of his recommendations and the fragrances he has is going to be lacking for a lot of you guys watching, especially the ones that know more about fragrances, because he is very into the mainstream stuff. The only niche fragrances he has are ones that, you know, everyone's kind of heard of. Parfums de Marly, he may have a couple Xerjoff, but primarily he kind of just talks about, you know, Tom Ford, Acqua di Gio, those kind of more masculine, traditional, super well-known designer brands, which, you know, if that's what you're looking to in the market to buy, that's great. Personally, I'm not really going to get much out of those videos except pure entertainment, so that is why I'm putting him into the C tier, probably on the lower end of C tier. But again, in terms of self-improvement, self-development type of content, he's going to be in the A or S tier. Up next, we have got one of the fragrance OGs in this community, and that is Gents Scents. I think I discovered him 4, maybe even 5 years ago now, and I'm pretty sure since then he has managed to post consistently on YouTube every single day. I try my best to post as much as possible for you guys, but posting every day like he does, I mean, we should just, let's get W Gents Scents in the comments for how committed he is to this fragrance content creation thing. It is actually crazy. On top of his amazingly consistent uploads, he knows a lot about fragrances, and although he is an older guy, he looks like maybe 40, maybe older, maybe slightly younger, he still caters his content and makes it accessible to all age groups. Even as a young chap, I found his humor really resonated with me. I found the way he spoke, he didn't overcomplicate the fragrances, he wasn't trying to be someone he's not. I really loved his videos, even as a young chap, and as I'm getting older, his content is aging like fine wine. There is no doubt about it, Gents Scents is in the S tier in this fragrance community, arguably the best out there. Another thing about Gents Scents that I absolutely love is because he has so many connections with different fragrance retailers and fragrance brands, he gets all of the new fragrances usually before anyone else even has them. So if you ever want an early sneak peek, you want an early review of a new fragrance that has just come out, go onto Gents Scents' YouTube channel, and there's a 90% chance he already has a video posted, and if he doesn't, it means no one has it. If he doesn't have it, no one has it. For example, the new Versace Eros Energy, about 4 weeks before I could even get my hands on it in Australia, he already had multiple review and first impression videos up of it, which, you know, was great because I could see what I was getting myself into. I love Gents Scents. If you don't already watch him, why are you still watching my video? Get on his channel right now. You guys are all waiting for it. Jeremy Fragrance. This guy is probably the most difficult to rank on this tier list because Jeremy, he's not a simple and linear individual. His kind of career, his personality over the years has gone like this, and that's an understatement. if we are talking about ranking him as he is right now, I can't put him higher than the C tier in terms of actually talking about fragrances, providing advice. You're going to get the occasional 1 month upload here on YouTube on the top 10 best fragrances of all time, where he'll essentially just regurgitate the same list he has been kind of talking about for the past 5 years. So yeah, right now the content isn't great. It's getting a little stale fragrance wise. Even on TikTok, he rarely talks about colognes anymore. You would have probably seen it's more finding a Christian woman under the age of 32, getting her foot in the air, putting some crazy music in the background, and then spraying her foot and waving it around with the fragrance. Is it funny at first? And every now and then pretty entertaining? Yes. Is it going to benefit you on your fragrance collecting journey? Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. But prime Jeremy fragrance, 2014 to around 2021, he actually had some great advice combined with entertainment. He's the person that got me into fragrances in the first place, and for that, I'm going to put him in the B tier. Old Jeremy, I would honestly put in the A tier for providing knowledge, and then S tier for entertainment and keeping you engaged. He was one of a kind, honestly. I don't know if we're ever going to find someone in the fragrance community and fragrance content creation space that will replicate what Jeremy has done in terms of building this ginormous movement. So I've got to give all my respect to Jeremy for that, man. Plus, 2014 Jeremy fragrance looked absolutely majestic. That's who I wanted to look like when I was 15, 16 years old. And if you take a photo of Jeremy fragrance in 2014, can you really blame me? No. Man was good looking. He was a good looking man. Up next is probably the creator and just human in general that has inspired me to take my content, my frequency of posting to the next level and just take my fragrance knowledge and this whole content creation thing more seriously. And that is Omar from the YouTube channel School of Scent. He's a pretty big channel. I think he's got around 250k subscribers, around 150k on Instagram, and like in the hundreds of thousands on TikTok. So you've probably heard of him, but I actually know him personally the best out of all these creators I'm talking about because I actually used to collaborate with him and post videos on his own channel a couple months back. You can still go and watch those. I think I posted maybe 3 or 4 videos around 3-4 months ago. So if you want to see more kind of behind the scenes content that you haven't already seen from me, go onto his channel and you can check me out and check him out at the same time. So win-win. One thing I love about Omar is that his humor is so underrated. I think that's why even as a younger guy, you can still relate and enjoy his content despite him being probably in his 40s. His recommendations, I would say, kind of tend to these slightly more old school type of smells. So more kind of heavy incense, leather, oud, that type of stuff, which personally I'm not a big fan of. You probably already know. I'm a vanilla baby at heart, but I still love tuning into his content every now and again. He also posts very, very consistently, at least, once every other day. Hey, which is better than me. It's a lot better than me. For my guy Omar, I'm definitely going to be slotting him into the high A tier. I really hope that I can work with him again. And again, if you haven't checked him out or any of these creators, you've probably heard of Jeremy Fragrance though, haven't you? You definitely have. Go and check them out. I'm going to be linking all of their channels in the description below. One other thing I have written about Omar in my notes is that his presentation isn't the most enthusiastic. If I could describe him in one word as a reviewer, it would definitely be nonchalant. So if you just want to kind of tune off and relax after a long day of work, check him out. If you want more sporadic ADHD type presentation, probably closer to myself or Jeremy Fragrance, then he might not be the channel for you. Rotten Rebel. I don't know what accent it is, but it is sexy to watch. That's probably the main reason I would ever watch him. It's that sexy accent. But seriously though, Rotten Rebel, he seems like a super genuine and down-to-earth guy. He's just the complete opposite of what I personally look for in a fragrance reviewer. He focuses on very let's review YSY EDP and spend 10 minutes doing that in this video, which is cool. I've done it before with especially new fragrances. Personally though, if I'm going to click onto a fragrance video, it's going to be top 10 or 5 of the best clone fragrances. I don't really gravitate towards those single review videos focusing on just one fragrance because I find they get boring really quickly. Maybe that's my cooked attention and dopamine receptors, just everyone's is in the modern world. So maybe that's my fault. I'm just telling you my opinion. But yes, he does seem like a really nice guy and he does have that sexy accent. His taste is definitely more old school as well, similar to kind of School of Scent. It's more those heavy, leathery, oud type fragrances like Tom Ford, all of that jazz. Again, not really up my alley. I'm going to be putting him into C tier in terms of where I would rank him in the fragrance community. He's definitely the right person for someone out there, and probably one of you watching. He's your favorite reviewer. You're probably an older, more traditional guy who just wants good, down-to-earth reviews, really detail focused on very certain fragrances. I'm sure you love him. Just me, I just don't feel that. I don't feel that connection. Feel Chaos Fragrances, yet another OG in the fragrance community. I've seen him grow up literally before my eyes, which is really cool. I mean, I used to watch him when he was like 17 doing fragrance reviews. He's still really young. I think he's in his like early or mid 20s. He is incredible. He is S tier. Maybe it's a little bit biased. You could argue his fragrance reviews at the moment are getting a little bit stale and repetitive. But I mean, it's hard to blame him for that because he's just been doing it for so long. Every possible idea related to fragrance content, he's recycled over and over. And it's tough. It's tough coming with new videos every single day because he posts pretty much, I think, every single day. I have the advantage right now where I haven't been doing this YouTube thing for all that long. So I get fresh new ideas that I've never touched upon before every day. He doesn't have that luxury, so I'm not going to downgrade him for that, because I have noticed a lot of comments in his recent videos are like, oh, you've done this 10 billion times. Oh, you've talked about these fragrances so much. It's like, he's been doing it for 7 years or however long. Of course he has. But, you know, he's just something about him. I connect with him. I've watched him grow up before my eyes. Like I said, he was one of the very first people I've ever watched. He's probably my favorite fragrance reviewer and creator of all time. I believe he makes TikTok videos. I don't really tune in with those. However, YouTube, I'm all in. I put all my investment into his channel. Easy S tier. Next is a 2-for-1, and that is Monika and Curly Fragrance. They have that very unique kind of perspective and viewpoint that only they can have, because they are women talking about men's colognes, and, you know, talking about them from that kind of side of perspective is super entertaining to watch, especially when they're reviewing kind of those more masculine, traditionally sexy fragrances. It's very interesting seeing what actual women think of them rather than us men just regurgitating the same kind of opinions. So from that aspect, it is really cool. Honestly, I haven't had that much watch time with them, especially Monika, who I only recently discovered a couple weeks ago with her Eros buying guide. It was a very calming, relaxing video. She has a very relaxing, low, soft voice, whereas Curly Fragrance is all up like, I'm the sexy motherfucker, all in your face, panty dropper, compliment pulling magnets. Both of them, respectfully, very attractive women. I think if you're a young man and you want to know what women like, you want to know what will pull you compliments, both of them, depending on your mood, if you want calm, Monika, if you want more up in your face, energetic, Curly Fragrance, depending on your mood and your personality, I'm sure you will find one that you really connect with. I'm going to put both of them in the A tier. It is also worth noting that Curly Fragrance's TikTok videos are very entertaining. I watch her TikToks a lot more than YouTube personally. They're just short, they're just snappy. It's all about compliments. It's all about what smells good to women. If you want that, watch her TikTok and Instagram reels. Very entertaining stuff. Someone who has quite a lot of followers, I believe over 100,000, is Frag Mental. I only found him when I was doing research for this video, to be completely honest. I watched a few of his videos. I kind of checked through his channel. Very sexy British accent. Very attractive accent, may I just say, man. Lost topic just thinking about how sexy his accent is. I have in my notes that he seems to hate cologne fragrances. I couldn't find a single video on his channel talking about clones, so that's kind of the vibe I got. If you want to know cheap alternatives to expensive fragrances, do not watch his channel. Again, just like kind of Ron and Remel, Omar, it definitely seems more tailored to older gentlemen. A lot of Tom Ford videos in there. Not my style of channel. He's going to be in the C tier from what I've seen so far. However, you know, that could change over time, either higher or lower, as I watch more of his videos and explore his content. The final creator in this video ranking is Triple B. Just like the last guy, Frag Mental, I didn't actually know this guy existed or never heard of him until I was doing research for this video. But let me say, I am so freaking glad I now know he exists, because I started binge watching his content while I was working at my retail store. Joe, I work at a supplement store. It can get pretty slow and people aren't coming in. I was watching his videos. I watched like 5 of them. The reason he is going straight into the S tier is because, one, he's funny as hell. The dude is just straight up entertaining. Crisp, smooth editing, but it's not overdone. His editing is great. He's also a fantastic and natural presenter. He just talks with you. He just makes you feel like you're one-on-one with him. I love this guy. Triple B, I don't know your real name if you're watching this video. Shout out to you. Really like your content. I've only watched a few of your videos and I've known you exist for about 2 days, but you're already in the S tier, and that should say a lot. Another reason I love this guy is he does really unique fragrance related videos. It's not just the same kind of recycled 5 fragrances that pull compliments. these are the fragrances I regret buying. Oh, I just did that video. Shit. In my notes, I have a couple unique videos that I watched from him. The first was I wore the world's weirdest fragrance, and then he included some fragrances I never even knew existed. Apparently WD-40 to their own perfume, and Fabuloso cologne, which is like a type of like spray cleaner. Apparently they have like a replica perfume. So that was really funny watching his reactions. And then also he does fragrance mystery hauls. So a discounter will sponsor him like $500 and send him like $500 worth of fragrances he doesn't know and has never smelt. And it's so entertaining watching him unbox a huge thing of perfume and then seeing his reactions to all of them. Super entertaining guy. S tier, definitely check him out. That is going to wrap it up on this video on ranking your favorite fragrance creators from S tier all the way down to D tier. Again, this is my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. I do hope this was more entertaining rather than anything. I love you guys. Like, subscribe, do your thing. Keep tuning into this channel because we're going to keep posting until my uploading schedule gets as consistent as some of the guys mentioned in this video. Peace out.